happens when you're stuck in Shakespeare's shadow in the 1590s? Well, you try to one-up the bard, of course, and that's exactly what Something Rotten, Broadway's latest musical, is all about.
Welcome to the Renaissance. You're the one in Italy.
Something Rotten is about two brothers, Nick and Nigel Bottom, who own a theater company. They're hapless, sweet-natured brothers who are living in a time when Shakespeare happens to be a rock god. And so as they try to compete with this rock god, asks the soothsayer what the next great thing in the theater will be. And the soothsayer looks into the future and sees musicals.
Borle serves up the laughs as William Shakespeare, while Brian Darcy James plays his competition, Nick Bottom, in this Tony Award-winning show.
How difficult is it to parody something like Shakespeare?
It's in the writing. I think so much of the writing, you can hear people when they hear the references, and that kind of does all the work. And since we don't really know what Shakespeare was like, and this take that they have is rock star Shakespeare, it becomes more about being familiar with rock stars than it does about being familiar with Shakespeare, which is a relief because I failed in college.
But even for those who failed in college with Shakespeare, people who don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of it, there is so much that exists in our world that Shakespeare has written that people probably don't even know that they know it. So when they hear familiar lines or they hear character names that they have heard of, it's obvious that what's happening is that this kind of mythical creature that is Shakespeare is being lampooned.
Do you guys think some people might walk away thinking like that's how the Renaissance period was?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I hope not. I think that people will appreciate that this is just very tongue-in-cheek, and it's a suggestion, it's a place, it's a part of history, and we're taking great liberty with it.
But I do think in some ways it could be like a gateway drug for people, for kids in particular, to be more interested in Shakespeare.
Absolutely.
And read the actual Shakespeare and find out some of the history of that period. Period-wise, I learned that, we're so, the trope of the turkey leg being the thing that people eat around like Renaissance fairs. No turkey legs. They were little pheasant legs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, think about it.
Something Rotten also has 5 tap dancing numbers throughout the show, a fact these co-stars weren't completely relaxed about.
I would never say I'm a tap dancer. I would say I've taken classes in the past. But it is something that I've had the occasion to do, or for whatever reason, the director says, hey, you can do this, right? And before I can say no, I'm like, deep tap, deep, 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 deep. Okay, guess I'm tapping now.
Someone said the funniest part of it is that still on our faces, as we're taking the galoshes off our tap boots, that there's still a moment where we're both like, oh God, here we go.
Now, with your character, you do a lot of moves of your own. Mm-hmm. What was the influence? Is it Elvis? I see a little Elvis. I saw a little James Brown.
Yeah, that's it. There's some Prince in there.
Prince?
There's some Mick Jagger in there. There's some late era Britney Spears. Yeah.
How
watch
so?
for it.
Which move?
Just in the laziness.
Oh.
That's when I let the backup dancers do all the hard work.
If you had to show me how to do a dance move right now, could you? Would you?
There's one move that I feel comfortable doing,
Okay.
but it requires not wearing any pants.
Oh.
Will you learn it with me?
Yes, I will.
It's very simple, and it's just this.
That's like Mick Jagger.
Doesn't that feel good to do?
Yeah.
I get to do that 8 times a week.
There's also a standing ovation 8 times a week before the end of the first act.
Renaissance means rebirth.
I've never experienced anything like that in the middle of a show. So it's a delightful thing, and it just ignites into a really amazing response every night.
It's wave after wave. Like it starts to kind of wane a little bit, and then it lifts back up, maybe 4 times. Yeah. And I think there's something cathartic happening actually for audience members.
That amazing response will probably make this show a Broadway comedy classic.
It's a very difficult thing to produce a show and have people know about your show. This is something that no one's ever heard of. And so for us, in such little time, to have established ourselves as a viable, great evening in the theater is a remarkable thing.
Now people know what Something Rotten is, and that's so gratifying. Do you want to do the song? Was that the pitch?
I don't think I want to do the song.
Okay. We usually do like an end of an interview song.
Oh, the end of the interview song.
Yeah.
This is the end of the interview. I hope you enjoyed the interview. This is the end.
This is Tinabeth Piña for Arts in the City.